face the screen.
I think we need to come up with like a group dance so that when the music's playing, that we all have some little head bop going on or something.
Like Bebop and Rock.
Yeah. I mean, it's recent, audience, because you don't know the behind the scenes stuff, that we actually get to listen to the introduction music before we start recording. I usually would go add that post recording. And then also feedback is, I don't know, podcasts aren't really doing intro music anymore, if you've noticed that. But I can't let go of it. I'm old fashioned. It's not going anywhere. So don't get your hopes up.
Right
anyways,
when we added
guys,
it,
welcome.
everybody else is getting rid of it.
No, we've had it all along. You guys just didn't get to listen because you guys never go back and listen to your own content.
I don't want to see myself.
Which is really weird. Oh,
or
God,
hear yourself, right?
Maybe I'm vain. I don't know, but I love to go back and listen.
No, no, thank you.
Well, okay. We're just talking about shit that doesn't matter, but you will get better if you go listen to it. You're going to pick up on all your little touching your face and and all that shit.
I don't touch my face at all.
Exactly. See, I just did when I listened to it, I'm just like, God damn it, I got to quit doing that. But I don't. Okay.
You should program an AI to go back through and remove all the
this platform actually does have that feature. It just doesn't work very well. They're getting better.
Yeah, but
and we're
40-minute podcast will go down to like 3 minutes.
20. I know.
Hey, but it would be the most insightful 3 minutes of any listener's lives, right? So much information in a short period of time.
Just the good stuff.
Summarize it all. Security, security, security. Goodbye.
Yeah,
pretty much. Pretty much.
Russian hackers.
Don't do AI by yourself.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's get started with episode 94 of Unhacked. We are kicking off our vibe coding segment. Now, I was working with a tech support for another product that one of my clients uses, and somehow the subject of vibe coding came up. Oh my God, he was not a fan. And I kept it quiet that I am. But we are going to dig in today and this conversation. So I'm going to state it for the audience because we've already had it internally here. This is not a how-to on vibe coding. It's not.
Right.
If you guys want to do your own vibe coding, that is fine. We will set up an environment and we will teach you. Reach out, go to unhackmybusiness.com, fill out the little contact form. We will help you do that. That's not the point of the show. What we are talking about today and for the next 3 weeks after today is very specific examples of what can be done with vibe coding, what the problem is beforehand, what the outcome is once you've got it developed and in production. And then finally, what is the monetary value of this? What is the ROI? We've made the claim all along from 10x to 50x. That is what we can, take a function of your business. We can automate it and we can increase your output by somewhere between 10 and 50x. Now, when I made that claim, I thought I was going to have to work my ass off to defend it. I believed it, but with a little grain of salt. I'm like, maybe. But oh my God, every time it comes in that range, every single time. So I'm pleasantly surprised with that outcome while I rat on myself for maybe not being a true believer in all that bullshit I said at the beginning. But here we are. So with that long-winded episode introduction, let's go around the room real quick. Tell everybody who you are, what you do, and who you do it for. I usually go first. I'm not doing that today. I'm going to go to Mario first, then Brian, then Josh, then I'll bring it home.
Yeah,
Mario, that's
Mario
you. Go.
Zaki,
Mario.
CEO of Mastech IT, located in New Jersey. Been in business for 22 years, helping small to medium-sized businesses, go through their IT, make sure that they're secure, and we specialize in helping business owners sleep better at night, knowing that their businesses will be there the next morning from all those different type of hackers, Russia, China, even US and AI.
Equal opportunity hackers. Brian?
My name is Bryan Lachapelle with B4 Networks, and I help business owners remove the headaches and frustration that come with dealing with technology, which includes cybersecurity and now AI.
All right, Josh.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm Joshua Holloway, the CEO for Seventh AI Technologies out of the Sacramento region with an office in Reno, but we operate coast to coast. We primarily focused MSP on companies that have compliances or have to work around compliances, and now how you use AI in a compliance world. So we're helping those companies figure out what they need to do to stay compliant, but not have to turn off all the machines, and they can just keep working and make money. So that's what we're here for, and that's what we do.
Beautiful. And last, maybe least, I don't know. I'm Justin Shelley, CEO of Phoenix IT Advisors. We work with our clients throughout Texas, Utah, and Nevada primarily. And we help you use technology, aka AI. I think I did that last time. It's a lot of letters, to make more money. And we're proving it finally. So I love it. I love this series. And then, of course, we want to help you keep that money from the likes of the hackers, the government, and the attorneys, because they all want to come and take it from you. We have transitioned, as I said, we started off with how to set up an AI platform securely so that you can just chat with it and not have to worry too much about your data bleeding out into the wherever. Where does AI live? It's all just math. I don't know. Then we moved into integrations, giving your AI a little bit more context. And now we've already kind of started bleeding into vibe coding. Mario, you talked about some stuff last week, which was pretty cool. I'm doing some marketing around this and setting up a landing page for our AI services. And I gave it our transcripts from the last few episodes. And I'm just like, pull out all the cool case studies. Mario, you won hands down. AI loved your case study from last week. So without too much ado here, I'm going to pass the torch back to you, Mario, because I want you to, we did it maybe even in reverse order where you talked about the problem, what you did about it, the outcome, basically gave yourself an extra $80,000 a year worth of top line revenue opportunity. I mean, I know it's a little bit of fuzzy math because you don't have $80,000 in your bank account that you didn't, but you can deliver it because you freed up that much labor. Right.
Yeah. And what that's throughout the different systems. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what I want to talk about today. What we didn't do is kind of go through and walk us through that process. We want to make it not super technical, but definitely show us a little bit behind the scenes of how that works, if you don't mind.
Yeah. I mean, originally, the whole point of this is to really, and we've talked about it before, is to kind of identify something that either you or somebody in your company is, doing that, you can automate that would help, facilitate time, and be able to kind of not only facilitate time spent on it, but also minimize or prevent, mistakes. Not that AI is perfect, but once you have everything kind of configured, chances are it's going to do it repeatedly and do it correctly. Correct? So one of the many things that we have been putting together and that I talked about last week is on average, an onboarding or an offboarding, an employee or a customer will fill out a form on our website, hit submit. They will, send it to us. We get it in the form of a ticket. The technician then goes into the Microsoft platform, enters the information for like an onboarding, all the username and email address. If the license if they don't have an available license, they have to go and purchase the license and come back to Microsoft and go ahead and apply that license and then, and so on. So
you're exhausting me already.
Yeah, and it's an exhausting process. So let me go ahead and share my screen and I'll show you kind of like an overview of what we ended up putting together. So
while you're opening that up, I have to point out also what AI loved about our last episodes. The idea of putting my blood pressure monitor up on the screen while we record. But you'll notice that I'm like more zen today. I made you guys go first. I brought my energy down because my doctor told me to. Doctor being Josh/AI. Anyways.
Dr.
All right, Mario.
GPT.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, no matter what, I still think we should do it.
Listen, I might have to vibe code that.
So we put together a what we're calling the Mastech.vip portal. And there are about 5 different applications on here. The one that I was specifically talking about was the onboarding, offboarding platform. A customer will log in, they'll use their 365 single sign-on credentials because we're pulling everything right from Microsoft 365. They'll have an option to onboard or offboard either a computer or an employee. So I'll go ahead and click on onboard. And like again, they can select an employee onboarding or a computer onboarding. It will automatically go out and reach and connect right to their Microsoft 365 tenant. Usually it'll take about 15 to 20 seconds. They fill out the date. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but they fill out the date. If you have several different domains, you can select which domain, the email address, fill out more information on their new employee. If you want to set like who their manager is, if you want to copy settings from an existing employee, that you can do that. You'll have the ability to select from any existing employee, and this information is actually being pulled live from Microsoft 365. Excuse me, and then it will show you all your licenses. So it will show you what's available, what's not available. If something is not available, it'll give you the option to go ahead and purchase a new license. Any additional software that you want to do, you can type in your own notes, and then it will automatically, again, since it integrated with Microsoft, it will select all the different SharePoint sites that it has access to. So we can connect to, let's just pick Mastech, the different distribution sites. So we can make them into the sales, and then whatever shared mailboxes that we may have in place, that we have a scheduling mailbox, give them full access or read only. The computer, if they want a laptop or a computer, how many monitors they want. Obviously, some of this stuff will have to be done, with the technician. Select a laptop, docking station, wireless keyboard, mouse, any custom questions, some disclaimers that they have to check off, and they hit submit. Once they hit submit, this still opens up a ticket with my guys. My guys review everything as entered, and with one click of a button down here, they can actually approve it. It will go through, set up the user, purchase the license if it wasn't available, provision everything, and even give the person submitting the onboarding form the Microsoft temporary password. It will also get emailed to them inside the ticket. Technicians will have access to it, and they can start provisioning like the desktop or anything like that. So this process, like I said, we normally can take up to at least 45 minutes, with purchasing the license, getting the information. And a lot of it, sometimes we would end up playing like email tennis, where we end up asking them a question because they forgot to submit it, or then they come back, and sometimes it can take like a few days to go back and forth. Now we can enter everything in here, and whatever we could automate, we'll automate. Otherwise, it gets available to the technicians.
Well, and before you move on, because I see you moving on, that email where they get the temporary password, you're talking about the ping pong that goes on afterwards. It's always that one. Wait, what was my password? I gave it to you. That one's not working. It's this. I already tried that. Oh, wait, now it's working just fine. It's just like back and forth and back and forth. So I love that. And then I want to point out that you captured billing increases there, which is phenomenal. I hope it automatically ties into your billing system, as well as them agreeing to, that this adding this resource, this user, this computer to your service agreement is going to increase their billing. I hope that's automated too. But I love that you're getting away from all of the things that normally get missed with an MSP.
Yeah, and then on the back end, and you're absolutely right. The invoices automatically checks to see how many licenses they're using, and it adjusts their invoices monthly. If they have 10 and they want to 11, then invoice changes to 11.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful stuff.
Did we cover
Yeah.
how much time this saves on average?
We did last week. It's
Okay.
45 minutes. So it took 45 minutes of onboarding time down to like 5.
Yeah, like 3 to 5 minutes, really.
Yeah.
And not only that, it also prevents some mistakes from happening. Like you said, Justin, like a technician may accidentally put in the wrong password or put it, something, it doesn't work. If the technician forgot to put the password into the ticket or forgot to make it a temporary password, and they made it like welcome 2026, but they didn't set it to change after first login, it's those mistakes that this platform is really, the whole point is that it prevents any mistakes.
2026.
Yeah, hold on to that
Tech.
Fast default password. Welcome 2026.
Take note.
And then same thing with the offboarding. You can offboard an employee. You can offboard a computer. And this is really fun because you could actually select an employee. You could convert it. And this is some of the things that people filling out the form tend to sometimes forget. They forget to say, oh, yeah, I want to make it a shared mailbox. Or any of this stuff. They literally can check it off. And then later on, they'll come back and after the ticket was closed, they're like, oh, can you set up a forwarding? Oh, can you set up an out of office message? They can go ahead and do that right then and there. And then
Mario,
even
will
if they're
this actually have the meeting with the client and fire them on your behalf?
Well, I was going to ask if it'll dispatch security.
That's the stressful part is actually doing the dismissal.
Yeah. We can actually select the computer. This will, and again, all this stuff is approved by my technicians first. The technicians can overwrite anything, but they will again acknowledge all this stuff. And this, once it's approved by the technicians, will actually offboard the computer. It will remove all our software, all the security tools, and give an option for the technicians before it removes the remote access to like, hey, have you confirmed everything? So we did build in a couple safeguards as well in here, so that doesn't just do that, but it does save a lot of time. It saves, again, 45 minutes, can now be dropped down to like 5 minutes and prevent mistakes from happening, because the mistakes are usually the stuff that costs more time, going back and forth and stuff like that.
Now, Mario, let's be clear on this. Is it 45 minutes of your text time that you're saving? Because
yes,
I don't think you've hit on the time savings or the customer service experience for the client themselves.
Yeah, and it's very hard to measure that, but we have had a couple beta testers, and they love it. They love the fact that they can easily do that. They love that they can get the password right then and there. They love that we are using, AI to kind of give them a better experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I don't want to take up too much screen time. This is just one of many things that we put together.
It's too late. You already pissed off Liana. You may as well keep going with
it. We built a different platform. This one is internally. We've built like a proposals platform, a commissions platform, a Mastech Drive platform, so we can actually transfer. It's a program that gets installed on your computer that you can actually transfer, files from like SharePoint to Dropbox very easily. Or you could actually map additional things like I don't know if anybody knows Wasabi, but it gives you the ability to actually have a map drive onto your Wasabi account, so that you can treat it like a SharePoint. But the proposals platform, this is the one that we talked about before. My guy, my sales guy, he would, for some complicated proposals, it would take him about 3-4 hours sometimes to put together a proposal. I built this platform. You can now enter all the customer information, even insert their logo. This is a demo one. Let's just go ahead and pick like this one. We can pick their logo. We can put it up right on there. We'll go back to the demo one. Enter all their information. We could even insert the statement of work if we want to. We can insert the master service agreement. We can add items onto the proposal. Say they don't have a server, we can remove it, or say, oh shoot, no, let's go ahead and add the server. Pretty much now all he has to do is select what they have, enter it, can put in the quantity, the price, and all these items. I should have probably showed that before. All these items are all, we can put in different upfront costs, like if they want monitors, the onboarding and setup, the firewall, if they getting a new server, phones. All these items can be predefined. Some a la carte items that we, and this is where sometimes it would get fishy with my guy, because we had a template, and when somebody wants to go ahead and add different things, he would have to add a line item to our template, and sometimes it would throw off the entire format of the document, and he would have to sit there and spend time, sometimes blow it up and start all over again. We now have stuff that we've predefined, the different services. We can go in and say, certain things are included in any of our 3 plans. So if I go back to proposals here, we can go to, say a workstation is 35, and let me save here real quick. So say we want to include a comparison chart so that it's like standard, premium, or enterprise. So we can go ahead and here, and it'll tell us like, okay, this is how much we're charging for standard. This is how much we're charging for premium. This is how much we're charging for this. And this is the total quantity. It will automatically calculate everything. And then even like the a la carte items, sometimes like for example, our phone system is included in our premium and enterprise. We can say, you know what, for this customer, or for this prospect, he showed a lot of interest in, say, our password management. Even say he wants, say he just wants 5 password managers, and we're like, you know what, no problem. We'll go ahead and include it in all our plans. We can easily just go ahead and do that, and then it will automatically go through when we export the system, and we could export it as a PDF or a Word. Word or a PDF. It will automatically calculate everything. He no longer has to go through and calculate anything. All he has to do is pretty much just put the quantities in, add the items, and he's done. So something like this that used to really take him, 3-4 hours for complicated ones. There is no complicated now. It's just a matter of adding the item, the quantity, and it's completely done. He can add the SOW and the MSA, and all he has to do is send it out for an e-signature.
So you went from 3 to 4 hours down to 5 minutes?
Yeah, for me, I could do it in 5 minutes. For him, I would say 10.
Okay, so you call it 10 minutes, right? So that helps cut down the cost for a new logo or a new business. Because typically we all analyze how much does it cost to bring somebody in. And if we're spending 4 hours on a proposal versus 10 minutes, I mean, the net savings on that is astronomical. You're talking probably a difference of like $100.
Yeah.
Just right off the bat, before you even factor in any burden or anything like that.
And not to mention, like, he's very thorough. I can't, off the top of my head, I could probably maybe think of one time or maybe 2 times where we've put together a proposal, and for some reason our math didn't add up correctly, or something was miscalculated, and we kind of like, as a courtesy, we have to kind of just take it on and as is. This
Mhm.
also eliminates a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Can
and
confirm that
we've
happens to us
tested it.
too.
Yeah, it
Hey,
happens. You know, it eliminates the human aspect of mistakes.
yeah, nobody wants
Well,
to have that conversation too. Like, oh, hey, yeah, by the way, it's supposed to be 35 a computer, and I accidentally put in 20 or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
well, I want to take a second. I want to validate again my claim that I didn't believe in the first place. I mean, I did, but didn't. 10 to 50x, because I'll do the math. We'll say 10 minutes. If it was taking him 4 hours to do one proposal, he could now theoretically do 6 proposals per hour. In 4 hours, it's 24 proposals. In the
24x.
time, 24x, right? Using this tool. What was the cost to develop it?
Probably about $10 in tokens.
Your
And
time.
your
How much was your time?
And my time. I think I put this together in tens of minutes.
Let's call it an hour. And let's say,
That's-
as the owner of an MSP, you ought to be worth a couple $100. Let's
Yeah.
say $500, Mario. Let's say
Yeah.
it cost
Yeah.
you $500 to develop this, and you 24x'd an employee's time. You know, I mean,
but more importantly, reduce the amount of frustration, to reduce the amount of errors, able to make sure you have it out a lot faster to the prospect, because it's not just sales that you're worried about. Like you were sending this to everybody you tried to sell to, not just the people who actually sold, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you're sending out a bunch of proposals. For every one you close, maybe you meet with 5 people, right? So it's a lot. That's a lot.
it probably
And
paid for itself in one landed proposal. Honestly,
Yeah. And
Easily.
the thing is, I remember the first time we talked about this, I mentioned it, and I'll mention again, that's priceless, is because a lot of these proposals he'll do like after he's done with like during the day when he's making calls and stuff like that. So he'll do this at like 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night.
Ew.
And when my phone rings at 9 o'clock at night and my wife is right next to me and she's like, "Oh my God, really? You're taking a support, a call now for work," and I'm sitting there trying to help him fix this template and stuff like that. The aggravation and the nagging that I hear from the wife because he no longer has to call
I
me at
hope she
9
doesn't
o'clock at
listen
night.
to the show.
hey man, you're gonna get in trouble, bro.
I'm taking that clip and I'm putting it on social media and I'm tagging her in it.
That
I mean, Mario's walking a very thin rope because she doesn't like him taking a call at night, and she doesn't like his AI girlfriend.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
she's gonna kill me one day in my sleep. I
But
just
she
know it.
doesn't. You don't even listen to this show, so I know she doesn't. And she should.
Well, if
but
you
she's
tag
going to
her,
now.
if you tag,
She will now. She will
Yeah.
now. What's her name again? And what's
and
her?
Mary Jane.
Okay. Okay. Good. Hey, I know her too. All right, guys.
but that it is priceless, and it's
Yeah.
for me too that I don't have to stress that are we going to have this proposal ready by the next day to present and stuff like that.
So two things I want to say. Number one, Mary Jane aside, this is like we have businesses. I don't know about you guys. I started the business because I wanted a better quality of life. I
Yeah.
wanted control over my schedule. I wanted to be able to work whichever 80 hours a week I wanted to, as they say. We all work a shit ton of hours, but I wanted that control, that flexibility. And it does feel like these businesses become this like living, breathing, eating monster that just sucks the life out of us. Right. So
Yeah.
in a way, you're claiming some of that back, which hopefully is what most entrepreneurs are looking for. And then, shit, I do this all the time. I forgot my second point. But that's okay, because I think I cut you off. I think you were going to say something else.
No. I
Okay.
was saying is like for me and just like we've been talking, we've identified some pain points and some aggravation and errors that we've done along the way, and we've automated it. Like my technician a couple times have said, "Oh, you're going to end up replacing us soon." And I'm like, "No, I'm not planning on replacing anybody, but I want to give you guys tools to help you succeed. I want to make your jobs easier, and I want to eliminate the possible errors that happen along
Yeah.
the way." you know.
Yeah. Well,
And
okay. So I remember what I was going to say. It's the time savings, and I don't know about you guys. Mario, you've got somebody who does your proposals. I don't. I've been doing my own sales proposals for a long time, and I hate them with a passion. Like I'll sit down in front of my computer. I've got the information I need. I'm like, oh God, here we go again. And then my ADD kicks in and I'm like, you know what? I think I need a Coke right now. I'll do this later. And 3 days, 4 days can go by while I've got a prospect sitting there waiting for a proposal that I haven't put together yet because I dread it so much that I put it off. Now that's a full confession. Nobody has to feel that way. Nobody has to agree with me. I'm an idiot. I get it. But this is a tool that can take that, because we all have that work that we just loathe, right?
yeah,
For whatever reason, that's one of those things that I just loathe. And I'm never happy with the output. Now you can build it once. It's the same. It's instant. And really, if we're being honest, you could sit down in that first sales meeting and you could fill that form out and you could say, check your inbox. You've got the signature or the PDF waiting. Also integrate it into whichever online signing platform you want to use and go ahead and approve the paperwork while we're sitting here. Let's go grab a coffee. You could take a 5-day sales process into 5 minutes.
yeah. And honestly, Justin, we've actually have had a couple people tell us, where they've wanted us to adjust something or even give them the full proposal, and they've gotten it within a few minutes, and they're like, "Holy shit, that was fast!" And we've told them, like, if you think our proposal process or our sales process is fast, you should check out our tech support.
Exactly.
It gives us a great way to really like pat ourselves on the back. And we've gone up against people that have said, oh, we're still waiting on another proposal. It's been a week. I'm not saying you, I'm talking about somebody else. Like it's been a week. We haven't heard back from them. But it shows a lot when you're sending them stuff like pretty much as they're requesting.
It is me, Mario. I mean, I'll own it. I put it out here, right? It is me. I'm the guy who has lost clients because I put in a proposal, a day or 2 days later than my competitor who took the sale from me. So I mean,
that's happening to all of our clients, right? They're also in those same type of positions. So vibe coding, while I don't recommend they do it directly themselves, is definitely something they can engage with someone like us to create these custom applets that they could use in their business to speed things up and make them rock stars to their clients.
Well, and I am going to keep saying we can set up an environment so that they can do their own vibe coding, right? So it's not like we're saying don't do it, just don't do it in a dumb way. I mentioned before, you've got a great big stack of hay, pile of hay, whichever we want to say it. Somebody poured 20 gallons of gasoline over it. It's smoking. The fumes are coming off, and you're standing there with a match, right? That's what we're doing with this stuff. You got to be careful. You got to be careful.
Right. Don't develop an app like that and put it up on a public facing internet connection and not secure it and not have, the proper, systems behind it.
That said, how long is it before this whole sales process in the IT world is automated and we don't even have to go through this absolutely painful process of discovery, proposal, meeting after meeting after meeting, taking up hours and hours of people's time? Guys, this is something in our industry that just sucks. Nobody wants to do it. We don't want to do it. Our clients don't want to go through it. I mean, it's a pain in the ass to change IT companies anyways, but just the sales process alone is brutal.
Yeah.
We got to fix that. We got to fix it. All right. Rant over. What else we got today? This has been good. I think, Mario, we've kind of nailed yours. Anybody else have something they want to add to this?
No, I was thinking that it would be good to hit on where Mario sat back with his team and they kind of said, like, what is a difficult task or what is a pain task that we could potentially vibe code our way out of it, right? And, what was that process like, Mario? Were you guys, was it an aha moment, a bulb that went off, or was it just like, I hate proposals. Proposals are never done right. My wife is getting mad at me because I'm taking calls at night because the guy's waiting until 7 or 8 o'clock at night to do the proposals. Kind of walk us through that one real quick, because again, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, AI, I'm going to go build something in AI. It's going to make a magical change. But I think part of the things, not just the security side of things that we sell, but it's also that guiding light. Like, let us help you get on the correct trajectory of how to use AI, how to move through and navigate the waters of AI, what works best for you, and ultimately, what do you want to fix? So for Mario, kind of like, give us a little bit of background on that, on that idea, that discovery.
I mean, one thing that we have, our mindset has changed really when we started seeing results. It started with fixing an application that was broken for a while. We're able to fix it in a couple minutes. We're like, oh wow, this was pretty cool. What else could I do? And I sat there and I created something else, and I'm like, oh, that was awesome. What else could I do? What ends up happening is it changes your mindset. So now when you're having conversations with customers, employees, I mean, even my wife, you start problem like, how could I automate this now? You start, everything in the conversation is now, how could I automate this? The other day I was I left my office to go get more coffee, and I heard my technicians talk about, for a certain client, they have 5 different copy machines, like the big copiers, and they wanted, they have to, during like a setup, they needed to set new employees to be able to scan from each one.
Mhm.
And as I'm passing by, I'm like, oh, I could probably just create something on their environment where we log in and we just put in the person's name and email address and have it automatically push to all 5 of the copy machines. So it's that type of mindset that you just start thinking about. Once you start digging in and seeing the results, you really start changing. How could I make this?
Yeah.
How could I make everything? How could I make my life, or my people around me, their life, a little simpler, a little easier?
Yeah, so take that math now. I'm just like, I can't let go of this 10 to 50x thing, because we're doing it in specific silos, right? In little use cases here or there. But as we start doing it, as we start seeing those results and getting exciting and opening up our brains to the possibilities, we're doing that over and over and over. We're multiplying that 10 to 50x exponentially. So like it is both exciting and terrifying to me to think about what the business landscape is going to be in a few years, because it's not going to look like what it does today. It
No.
will not be the same. And guys, you can be afraid of this and you can sit back and wait for, hope that it goes away somehow, or you could get on top of this thing and survive. I mean, hopefully thrive, but like if you're not doing this in your business, you are going to be left in the dust. You got to
If you
get
don't
started
do it,
on
your
this.
competition will do it, and if your competition does it, they will reduce their fees, they will reduce their
Yeah.
overhead, and you're not going to have a choice. It'll be
I mean,
Blockbuster versus Netflix.
I'm looking at yeah, exactly. Right. I'm looking at our own industry and the tools that we use. And, I do see some of the tools that have been around forever are now trying to, strap AI onto it. They're bolting it on in a like an afterthought fashion.
Mhm.
And then you've got newer companies who are building from the ground up around AI. Like all this stuff we're talking about, we're building this stuff. We're doing all the integrations. Mario, that stuff you did, yeah, it happens pretty fast, but it's still time consuming, involves a lot of brain work. But now we've got vendors who are doing this for us. I worry. I don't really worry because I don't like them. But some of the companies that are building these tools for us, I don't give them more than 6 to 12 months before they're just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, in some ways.
It is definitely something that it is moving fast, and just like other eras and stuff like that, when the internet first came out, people kind of thought this wasn't going to last, or this is whatever. It is very dangerous, and this is a million times more dangerous than anything we've seen before. And I think you have to have the thoughts behind it when you're doing it. Like when we sit there and vibe code, the first thing we putting in, like we're talking about security. We're like, I need to make sure that this is a secure platform, that we have like, encryption, we have this. If you're hosting it on a server somewhere that only you have access to, and it's not just with a password, there's other ways to do it beyond the password, so there's like, you have to have the understanding that what's the worst case scenario if the wrong person gets their hands on it, what could happen. All right, now that I know what that is, this is how I'm going to design this so to prevent that.
Yep.
Right.
Because by default, if you ask it to create an application, it's going to create it with no login.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And even after you add a login, and if you go and audit it, it almost always has at least 5 to 10 glaring holes that are just sitting wide open that somebody could utilize to bypass.
Good times. Good times. All right. Well, we're continuing to make the claim, to validate the claim, and maybe even to, like, maybe I set my sights too low, especially when you start compounding the effects of this stuff. It is crazy. Mario, appreciate you going through this today. And Josh, I think you're up next. Do you have any kind of a preview of what you're going to talk about next week?
Yeah, I can go ahead and talk about that one for a bit. So the one I'm going to be talking about is a estimator for a construction company that we built out. And
without details, do you have, like, the biggest spoiler alert is what's the result? Do you have that math yet? Like, is it 10x? Is it 50x? Is it?
So,
or do you know
yet?
I'll put you on the spot.
I basically, I pretty much replaced a salary of around 125K.
Wow.
Just an automation, just because of how much time a specific task takes all week, every week.
Crazy. I'm looking forward to that. I don't want to give it away yet, but good stuff. All right, guys, we're going to move to wrap this thing up, but you know how we do this. Last chance to final thoughts, key takeaways, anything that you want to say that you haven't said yet. This is your opportunity. Bryan, you got anything for us?
Yep. What I will say is this. Between now and the time you start getting into looking at potentially hiring someone to vibe code or doing it yourself, just keep an eye open for all the possibilities of what you could automate. Right? When you're working on something, is it repetitive? Is it error prone? Does it take a significant amount of time that doesn't require specialized expertise? Those are all really easy wins to automate, because there are things people don't like doing that are always going to be things that could have things go wrong with them, or there are things that just take time, like significant amount of time. And if you start that process now and document them, it makes it so much easier when you do hire somebody or bring somebody in to help you, to just get them out the door as quickly as possible. And you can brainstorm them with AI and say, like, this is what I'd like to do, and this is how I would like it to work. And it will come back with a pile of different, suggestions and recommendations. You could even turn around and say, let's look at industry research and tell me what other people are doing with similar platforms. And it will come back with a lot of ideas. And by the time you're done, it's got an entire document that you can then say, hey, Josh, here's what I'd like to build. And Josh is like, yeah, I can bang that out in an hour, or whatever the case may be. Right. Yep. So that would be my recommendation. Just keep your eye open. Yeah, the sky's the limit right now.
Yeah. I think the other one to add to it, and I'm just going to jump in on this one, is not just keep your eye open, but keep your ears open for those employees going, God, I wish this was automated, or I wish somebody else would have to do this. Those are the things that we should be looking for to automate, is when somebody's just feeling that pressure to where it's like, God, I want somebody else to do it, or it'd be so much faster if it was automated. Like, listen for those and look, and even survey your staff and be, out of your day, what's the one thing that you wish was just automated? And I'm sure you have Excel document jockeys who are just like, man, if this data could just pre-populate itself, it'd save me so much time. Or people who are taking orders going, I wish these emails could just be processed and put in a system. And even if it did 75% of it, it saves so much time. And at the end, the CEOs can look at that and say, well, which can we do first that will quantify a savings, quantify a stress savings, right? I think that's the other thing we haven't even talked about. Like, if we're bringing back these hours for these employees, we're not saying, hey, we're bringing these hours to be filled with work. It might just be, you could breathe.
Take a break.
Minutes.
Right. Get a lunch break. How many IT technicians do not get lunch breaks?
I think I spent the first 17 years of my life of teching, not taking a lunch break.
You guys allow people to take a lunch break?
Hey,
That's what I'm
man.
saying. We don't.
Some of us operate in states that have really strict employment
Sometimes
laws.
I have to tell it, like I have to mandate it. Guys,
You
guys,
do.
take a break. No, I got this. I don't care. Take a break.
Yep.
You know, it's like,
You
anyways.
need to find an office that has no like break room, no, the only seats is the seats at their desk, with the phone just really loud.
That's right. Ringing nonstop.
I'm kidding.
Well, I was also going to say, like, also focus on the more human-led interactions, right? Give the good customer service, the positive customer service, where things are just happening in the background automatically to where you're getting really good feedback response time. That just builds a better, a business model overall.
Yeah. All right, Mario, what's your final thoughts? What do you got for us?
Another thing, I mean, what Bryan and Josh have said so far is spot on. Another thing you can start doing, and in moderation, depending on what it is, you can also, because I know we've done it, and I think, you guys have done it as well, is you can analyze what you're spending a lot of money on, like different tools or different software.
Mhm.
And you may be able to kind of cut, trim the fat a little bit with something in-house. Now, I'm not saying develop something and try to sell it and be a competitor, because there may be some trademarks in there, but trademarks does not apply if you're using it internally. So something like that, you're not going to really, I mean, you probably can, but you can technically recreate QuickBooks if you want, but sometimes you want to stay away and let the professionals that have done it for 30 something years take care of it. But there are some software that you can probably replace that can save you money, or at least offer you features that you wish they would have implemented that isn't there. So you can create something that would either complement or replace something that either is costing you a lot of money or doesn't have the features that you would love to have.
Also, a lot of what we're doing here is bringing a bunch of different platforms together to kind of live under one roof. So Mario, what you talked about is a combination of vibe coding and integrations. You developed an application that integrates with Microsoft, that integrates with your PSA, your RMM, the tools that we use in this industry. And, not only automate some of that, but you talked before about how you just get the information that before you have to go out and hunt for it. Now you can talk to Microsoft Teams and just ask it a question and it'll pull it from all those systems. So there's the problem that I have, and I'm going to wrap up with this. At first it was, I don't know what to do. I didn't have enough ideas. And the second I started getting in and doing anything, holy shit, I now have just a book of things, and they're just queued as far, like I can't keep track of them. I had to get a project management system so that I can start, as I'm building things, I have like 15 new ideas that are just going to get in the way if I do them now. So I have to put them in that project management system and queue them up for later. And that list is just growing out of control. It's insane.
It is.
So once you get started, you will not have a problem with coming up with new ideas. You will have a problem with getting them all contained and developed. But this is where you start. Get on unhackmybusiness.com. Choose any episode. It doesn't matter. You've got an audio player and a video player, and then directly underneath that are two little forms that you can fill out. One's just comments. If you just want to poke fun at us or give us feedback about the show, do that. You've also got to request a consult. There's 4 people sitting right here who will give you 30 minutes of their time, absolutely free of cost, so that we can get you started on this journey and get it done in a safe way. So get on the website, fill out the form, get your consult scheduled. Guys, I'm going to say it again. If you don't jump on this train now, it's going to be moving too fast and you're not going to get on it at all. You got to get going on this. This is not optional anymore. All right. That's where we're going to end, guys. I will say, as always, thank you so much, Bryan, Mario, and Josh, for being here. This is how I get smarter, is by interfacing with people smarter than me. And so I appreciate you for that. Go ahead and let's get your final goodbyes, and we're going to wrap up for this week, and we'll be back with Josh's 150,000, whatever he said, next week. I can't wait for that one. Bryan, say goodbye.
All right, everybody. Bryan Lachapelle, B4 Networks, based out of Niagara, Ontario, Canada. If you're looking for help with your cybersecurity and or with how to implement AI in your business, please reach out. I'd love to be able to be your guide on your journey to success.
Mario.
Yeah, Mario Zaki, CEO of Mastech. Again, guys, if you're going to do this, do it right. Consult with a professional. Security has to be the first thing that you have discussed or planned. Give us a call. Give any of us a call. We'll help you with your IT, AI, in whatever couple letter abbreviations that you want us to help you with.
All right, Josh.
And I'm Joshua Holloway, CEO for Seventh Eye Technologies out of the Sacramento area with the office in Reno. And we just want to help you with your IT, get your feet wet with AI and do it correctly without sinking the ship. And hopefully you guys will vibe code your way to a really cool platform that helps your business grow. And all the while staying compliant.
Yeah, don't forget that. All right, guys. Thanks again. And remember, I'm Justin. Listen, get on our website, unhackmybusiness.com. And fill out that form. Let's get this project started. So that's all I've got, guys. Thank you again for being here, and we will see you next week.
Are we going to say the unhacked thing or what?
No, I'm changing it up.
No more unhacked.
Vetoed, blocked, not happening
Unhacked.
ever again.